Friday. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am super excited to talk to you guys this morning because we're talking all about energy. Oh, this time of year gets crazy, and I don't know about you, but sometimes we don't make the best food choices. Sometimes we are feeding our bodies full of maybe, things that are kind of junky, maybe processed, laden with sugar, possibly lots of alcohol, all those things. Hi, good morning, guys. Hi, Sally. Hi, Jodine. All those things that kind of bog us down, right, this past couple of months. So this morning I wanted to pop on here because I feel like a lot of my clients have been reaching out about energy levels and not just having the motivation to actually do the exercise that they want for the new year. So let's talk about it, all right? So since there's some people popping in, I want to ask you guys. So for me, my energy stays pretty steady all day, but there was a time where it would crash. And so if your energy crashes around 2 to 4 p.m., just go ahead and type the number 1 right now. Okay, that's going to give me some good indicators about where your metabolism is at. So if you have an energy crash between 2 and 4 during the day, give me a number 1. If you have an energy crash in the morning, so if you feel like mid-morning you're exhausted, you're falling asleep at your desk, you don't have any energy to get through till lunch, give me number 2. I'm just curious. So if your energy is low in the afternoons or early evening, give me a number 1. And if your energy is low in the mornings or mid-morning, give me a number 2. Okay, that's going to give me some good information. It's really interesting on how the different times of our day, when we have low energy, what that tells us about how our bodies are metabolizing food. So let's talk about it. So I'm going to get right to the point. I wanted to give you guys some information right off the bat, and then if you have to pop off and come back later, you can. So I'm going to try to keep it a little concise. This one's for you, Heather Hill, if you're listening. You like the concise list. So here it goes. Here are my top 5 foods for sustained energy. Number 1. Number 1 is going to be chia seeds. Okay? So these are now readily available just about anywhere. You can get them, I believe, even at Winco. So chia seeds is number 1. I'll go back through why in just a moment. Number 2 are any kind of nuts and seeds. My favorite top 3 nuts for this category on number 2 are pistachios, almonds, and walnuts. I'll tell you why in just a second, but I'm going to get concise here. Number 3 is quinoa. Okay, so quinoa is another one that's readily available now. It is an ancient grain and gluten-free, and you can get that just about anywhere, especially you can get it in the bulk section of Winco even. So that's number 3, okay? Hi, Charlie. Good morning. So number 4, you've probably heard this a lot about my obsession with coconut oil. So my number 4 is coconut oil, okay? My number 5, we're gonna get into a little different food group, and this is more based on roots and herbs. So I'm gonna combine 2 into 1. So this is a root and herb that is something that's great for energy, and that's ginger and cinnamon, okay? So those are our top 5, and I'm gonna go back through them now and kind of talk about why they're my top 5. So the first one we started with was chia seeds. So it's really interesting because in Mayan dialect, chia means strength. So the Aztec warriors would use chia seeds for prolonged, sustained fuel on their runs, which is pretty fascinating. The reason I like it is because it's chock full of fiber, protein, carbs, and good fat. So you get kind of everything in one little nutrient-dense package. So the best way to enjoy these, in my opinion, is to soak them. You need to soak them for at least half an hour. They start to plump up and they start to release all their good yumminess, all their nutrients, okay? So that's a really good way to enjoy them. It's really hard for your body to digest them properly if they're in that small pellet form without being absorbed with the water. So mix it with a little water, throw it in your oatmeal or your quinoa in the morning for a great energy source, okay? So there's a little idea. The next thing we talked about is, good morning, Olivia. Hello. Good morning, Christina. So the next thing we talked about, number 2 on my list, is nuts. Okay, so the reason I talked about nuts, I love nuts for this reason. They'll keep you satiated for a very long time. They won't give you that crash, that quick fix sugar crash. Since it's all protein and fat, what it's gonna do is it's gonna keep your mental game on point. So that's why I listed my top 3 nuts in this category. Number 1 favorite nut is pistachio, and I'll tell you why. Pistachio has the highest amount of protein per content in gram. And also they're you can't really overeat them unless you buy them shelled. But my husband actually gave me this trick. Hola, good morning, Luvier. He always likes to shell them because it slows him down from eating too many, which is a good tip. And the pistachios are an incredible source of protein. In fact, there's 25 grams of protein in a cup of pistachios, so that's pretty amazing. The other nut that's my favorite, and I'll tell you why, is walnuts. So they are, hi Janet, good morning. They are full of omega-3s, you guys. We talked about inflammation last week. Great anti-inflammatory, okay? It'll get those different fatty acids in balance for you quickly. Also, a lot of the times when we're feeling that mental fog or that sluggishness in the afternoon at that 3 o'clock time frame, what happens is it's usually our mental focus that's making us tired or feel exhausted, and not just our physical. So the omega-3s are and the walnuts are shown to improve cognition and keep your mind alert and help you think more clearly. So that's why I like the walnuts. The number 3 nut that's my favorite is an almond. The reason I love almonds is because number 1, they're tons of fiber. They have a good amount of protein, a good amount of good fat, but they also have manganese. And I'll tell you a little bit about manganese. Good morning, Janet. Manganese is amazing because manganese helps as a carbohydrate metabolizer. It's necessary for carbohydrate production and breakdown in our body. So an almond is a great source of manganese. So you want to include that in your diet. And again, watch your portion sizes. If you look back through my YouTube videos, you'll see my portion control, portion distortion video. So if you cannot fit your almonds in the palm of your hand and they start to pour out, that's too many, okay? So keep that in mind. Make sure they're not roasted in canola oil or any bad plant oils they're just negative for your body. They actually cause more inflammation. Make sure they're raw and unsalted, okay? All right, so those are my top 3 nuts. Now we're gonna move on down the line. So the number 3 energy boosting food is quinoa. I'm a huge proponent of quinoa. Number 1, the Incans used to call it sacred, this grain. It's a very, very high iron-rich source of protein, vegan protein, carbs. It also has some omega-3s in it and tons of fiber. So that's amazing. The reason why iron is so important, you guys, is iron is our oxygen transporter with our red blood cells. So it helps us develop those red blood cells to transport more oxygen into our body, which gives you more energy and stamina, right? Especially when we're exercising. So a lot of women are very deficient in iron, and iron converts into ferritin. That's kind of sciencey, but converts into ferritin in our body. And if we have a depletion of too much ferritin in our body, what will happen is it will leach it from our bones, which causes osteoarthritis or osteoporosis. So just a little side note. So make sure you're getting your iron, especially if you're a vegetarian. Make sure you take an iron supplement if you can. Okay, so almonds are full of that. Quinoa is full of that also. So moving on down the line, that was number 3. Now we're going to get into coconut oil. I'm like a coconut oil fan. Some people are really, they don't like coconut oil. I love it. I could eat it with a spoon. So could my daughter. She loves coconut oil. In fact, she'll just literally eat it with a spoon out of the jar. But coconut oil is amazing because it does have this unique combination of saturated fats and MCTs, which are medium chain triglycerides, which is a very, very unique thing in a plant-based oil. So what you really, hi Allison, good morning. What you want to do with that coconut oil is you use it sparingly. You don't need a bunch, but a teaspoon or a little dollop amount will really give you sustained energy without that crash. It's a fast fix energy source without a carbohydrate, which is really unique. So coconut oil is a great way to start your day. I like to put it in my coffee in the morning. It's a really great way to get your brain straight and to wake up your mind. It's great for cognition. And mental acuity. So make sure that you're including that in your diet at least a few times a week. Okay, it's also great for your hair, skin, and nails. Side tip. So hopefully that helps. Okay, so my last one's kind of interesting. And a lot of people don't include this, but in their kind of their energy boosting foods, but this is important to me, and I include these herbs and these minerals and these things into my diet every week. I love ginger and I love cinnamon. Okay, these 2 boosting herbs, roots, whatever you want to call them, are amazing because number 1, ginger increases your circulation in your body. So if you have poor circulation, you can't really have good energy. So ginger not only does that, but it also boosts your immune system And having a good immune system is imperative to having, obviously, energy. So you want to make sure you're including some ginger into your diet. It's also really good to aid in digestion. So if you have a hard time digesting a lot of protein, or you're just feeling like a little bloated, ginger tea or actual ginger root is amazing. I like to just chew on ginger. I love it. So there's a little tip. You can also grate it into your oatmeal. It's an amazing anti-inflammatory also, so keep that in mind. Hi, Perry. Good morning. We're talking about energy. I hope you got to see this. So the other one I really like to emphasize is cinnamon. Cinnamon not only stabilizes your blood sugar so that you don't have that crash, that up and down, especially around that 3 o'clock time frame, but it's also got that manganese in it. So we talked about that mineral earlier. Manganese is so vital and important to carbohydrate metabolism. Hi, Perry. That it's really important for your energy. So if you're not breaking down carbohydrates fast enough or sustaining them long enough, then you can't have that good source of constant energy. So cinnamon's super important too, and I really love it, especially if you're on the verge of having a high glucose level or you have high blood sugar levels. You really want to include cinnamon. And again, a really good way to get that into your diet that's delicious to sweeten your coffee instead of using creamer or a sugar is to throw a little coconut oil and some cinnamon in your morning coffee. It's a great way to wake up your brain, get a good dose of healthy fats into your body, and also stabilize your blood sugar in the morning so that you can just keep running smooth all day long. Okay, so I don't see any questions coming up about this, but I really wanted to review this. So the other thing that can zap your energy, and I know this is kind of, everybody thinks that they know how important water is, but it really is vital to your energy levels. So dehydration can drain you not only physically, but mentally. And of course, you know, water doesn't have any nutrients with it, but it has all those electrolytes that help push all the nutrients into your organs. So without water, your nutrients can't really go anywhere. So if you're not drinking enough water and you're dehydrated, it's going to definitely affect your energy levels. So keep that in mind. Start your day with a big glass of water. I like to do it warm or room temperature because it takes your body a little bit of work if it's cold to warm it up in order to absorb properly. So get a good big glass of room temperature water. I keep one next to my bed at night, and first thing in the morning I just down it. It's the first thing I do. So try that for your energy as well. But the other thing I want to just really emphasize here is another thing that can help boost your energy without that mega caffeine crash if you're sensitive to caffeine is green tea. So green tea is full of antioxidants, it's an anti-inflammatory, and it also has a little caffeine, but it doesn't give you that crash that coffee can sometimes give to some people. So if you want a little boost, you can do a little cup of green tea or even iced green tea, and that will help kind of give you a little bit of instant energy without that sugar crash or that crash on your face at your desk at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So again, if you guys are feeling like, I'm just curious, if you're having low energy between 2 and 4 p.m., I want you to just type number 1. If you have lower energy in the morning or mid-morning, type number 2. That tells me a lot about how your body is metabolizing food also. So, okay, so here's my tip for you this morning. If you want tomorrow, try this. So try putting all these foods together into your morning breakfast and see what happens. So start your day with cinnamon and coconut oil in your black coffee. Okay, and then go ahead and make a big bowl. Hi, Lynette, good morning. And then make a big bowl of quinoa. Okay, top it with a little bit of almonds or pistachios or anything like that. Grate some ginger in it. It's delicious. And top it with a little chia seeds. And remember to soak your chia seeds. Number 1. Most people are, Lynette. Most people are an afternoon crasher, and that's just by way of not having all the proper nutrients in your body before then, and I'm guilty of it too. I used to have it a lot more often than I do now, but it's getting a little bit more fat into your diet earlier in the day will help kind of sustain that, and we talked about that with these top 5 foods. So go back and listen, Lynette, if you just came on, because I think this will help you. But back to my morning. So do your coffee with your cinnamon and coconut oil in your coffee just to see what happens. And then with that, have a bowl of quinoa with a little bit of nuts and seeds on top of your quinoa with your chia seeds. But make sure you soak your chia seeds first. And try that. See what happens to your day when you do that instead of, maybe just a quick fix breakfast. So again, just try not to grab for those quick fix energy rushes like your candy bars or your energy bars that are usually full of sugar, and try to stick with a handful of nuts. Remember your serving sizes, your portion distortion. Just go just in this palm of your hand. If it starts to fall out, you've got too many nuts in your hand. And try to change it up. If you usually only eat almonds, go to some walnuts. If you usually only eat walnuts, go to some pistachios. But my top 3 nuts are almonds, pistachios, and walnuts. And go back through and listen to why. It's important to understand why you're putting those nutrients in your body for not only long-term health, but for energy. Okay, so I hope I helped you guys this morning. If I did, let me know. Talk to me. Tell me what you want to hear more of, or if I'm talking too much or any of that. I want your feedback because I want to be here for you. The whole intention of me showing up every morning is to give generously to you as much as I can. And so hopefully I did give you some information today. So let's review one more time. Heather Hill, this is for you. Okay, number 1, chia seeds. Number 2, nuts. And my top 3 nuts are pistachios, almonds, and walnuts. My number 3 is quinoa. My number 4 is coconut oil. And number 5 is kind of a 2-for-1. It's cinnamon and ginger. Okay? Those are my top 5. So try to get those into your diet, you guys, and see how your energy goes throughout the rest of the day today. And if you have questions on anything else, just let me know. I'm happy to answer. And you can always instant message me on Instagram, or you can also Facebook message me. I'm happy to answer those as well. Okay, you guys, I hope you have a wonderful Friday, and thank you so much for being here. I'm so grateful and appreciative that you all trust me with your health and your fitness. So I'll talk to you guys soon. Okay, bye.